NextWaveDV presents NAB 2013. Made possible by Zeiss, we make it visible. Kessler Crane, innovative tools for filmmakers. Red Rock Micro, introducing the one-man crew.
We're here at the Freefly booth with Tab, looking at something maybe a few people have heard about called MoVI. Now, you guys are promising to revolutionize the way everybody thinks about camera motion.
No.
Oh no,
we never promised that.
You're putting the expectation out there because this is different. This is different.
People that have used it have said that.
Okay.
Our mandate has been to make cool toys to move the camera in interesting ways. I believe that we've done that.
That you have.
Yeah.
It's not new technology, but it's repurposed in a new way.
Yeah. And there's some new technology to go along with it too.
Okay.
Yeah. We've invented some ways to move the camera organically with single operator and still have good stabilization.
So when this first was, announced, people were hearing about it. There's a lot of DIY people out there like, oh, I could make one of those.
Yeah.
But from the people that I've talked to that have actually interacted with this, there's technology in here that nobody even realizes is in there. Can you tell us what is going into this device, why the price tag is where it's at?
There's years of development that have gone into this device to make it what it is. And we all know with cinema equipment, it has to work perfect and it has to work 100% of the time. So I would say that's what really, in high-end cinema equipment, separates toys and DIY stuff from stuff that you can actually take and have a reasonable expectation of getting through the day with.
So now this is an investment, but it's still much more cost-effective than anything comparable on the market. But how have you guys designed it to be future-proof?
So if you compare this to other stabilized gimbals in the market, I would say the average stuff were less than 1/10 the cost of things that are creating similar performance. The way we construct these gimbals, they're very modular, they're very robust, they're very flexible. It's almost impossible to break this thing. We've had them on helicopters for years with people crashing them into the grounds at 100 miles an hour, and so our stuff is robust and it lasts, and it's flexible, lightweight, easy to use, easy to reconfigure. You can bolt handles on wherever you want. You can bolt monitors on wherever you want. We just like the gear to be simple, robust, and work well. So
some people are thinking this is a replacement for a Steadicam, but I know that that's not your intention. How could this work in conjunction with a Steadicam system?
Yeah, to be honest, we didn't even really have a Steadicam in mind when we built this. We just wanted to build a system where you could get into some amazing places and have perfectly stable footage. One example would be like snowboarding down a mountain. You can literally be holding this thing, getting great footage. So the Steadicam really wasn't even a consideration for us. I think the two would work well together. You could mount a gimbal like this onto a Steadicam arm, take the weight off the operator for the day, get rid of some of the translational movements, and I think if anything, they work well together.
So for me personally, I'm a DP. I can operate a jib pretty easily, a dolly. Those are the kind of things you can pick up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Steadicam, though, is a very learned operation. Yeah. Is this a device that somebody could fairly easily pick up, or is it going to take years of practice to get good at it?
If you've played a first-person shooter, you're done. You're ready to go.
So that's an advantage right there, is that somebody can quickly and easily operate it.
I can go move around the floor right now with this, and you can grab the sticks, and in 10 minutes we'll be pulling off great shots.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the other advantage that I'm seeing here is, like, I've got a jib, I've got a Steadicam, I've got a dolly, I've got a lot of devices, and if I need to go somewhere, that's either a lot of baggage or we're driving.
Yeah.
Versus this is something that can easily fit on a carry-on.
So this folds down into a briefcase, and that's another thing that we really wanted is people are so mobile and they're traveling all over and they're shooting so much. And the one thing we really noticed with the helicopter when we go to jobs, we take 2 helicopters, 2 of this, 2 of that. You get so geared up and geared down that it makes it not fun. Whereas it's really great with this. You just throw in a suitcase, bring your camera, and go make some amazing stuff. All of a sudden you have stabilized shots from the car, stabilized shots from a boat, stabilized shots from the plane. It's just it's pretty compelling.
And the rig setups would take up an entire truck to try and mount everything to that.
Yeah.
And instead, now you can just say, if you want to do that creative shot, it's not really that big of an issue. You just, as long as you can physically be there yourself, you can get a stable shot.
Exactly.
So you guys have announced 2 different price points. What are the differences between those 2 devices?
Just the size of the camera that they'll hold. So the smaller one, the M5, is catered to DSLR size cameras.
Okay. There's a lot of cameras that are kind of like borderline DSLR size. So you get like the FS100, C300, stuff like that. How small are we talking on when we're talking DSLR size?
Definitely just like 5D Mark II size cameras and below. Okay. Yeah.
And so then your standard model, what can that handle then up to?
This is the max. So an Epic with we got a 24mm Canon Cine Prime here. I would say this is the biggest setup that we intend for the M10. Right. So we've got, it's just to be clear, 24mm Cine Prime, follow focus, wireless, HD, and I think that's kind of what we recommend for this.
So you guys, in the video that we saw online, there was a lot of wide-angle shots. Can you use this with longer lenses as well?
Yeah, so this shot right here on the helicopter, that's from a 100mm lens. We've got a bunch of skateboarding footage that's shot at a 120mm lens. So if the coordination between the person moving the camera and the operator is good, obviously when you get to a longer lens, it's more imperative that they communicate well. But the gimbal is stable, definitely. If you keep your hands off the sticks and don't touch it, it's very stable. But most of the problems come in when operators start going all over the place.
Yeah. And you, as we've seen in the videos, and I'd love for you to elaborate a little bit more. This is very much designed for. It can be a one person, but yeah, it's better when you have 2 or 3 people operating.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. It's yeah, you can either one. I think is equally viable. There's some people that I'm not a good single operator because I can't keep a nice frame and keep situational awareness. Like if I'm running or something, I fall down. So I think for some people it's nice to have 2. When I'm working with you, I like that I can run and move this thing around and still keep an eye on where rocks are and that kind of thing. I think you end up with a better frame if you split the labor like that, because someone's sitting in a monitor completely focused on framing while someone's, you know, like the cab shot in New York. There's a rollerblader, right, and he's in traffic and he's latching onto a cab. How are you gonna effectively frame that as well as somebody who's sitting down at a chair with the monitor on their lap and a remote?
Exactly.
It's just, it can't happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, can this system attach to other, like a jib or to other devices as well?
We can put it on everything. Yeah. We've got a suction cup car mount for it. We've got it mounted to a little RC car here. We've got it mounted to remote control helicopters. We've got it. What else are we mounted to? We've done driving shots from the tailgate of a truck. Yep. I think people will come up with a lot of creative places to put this. Put it on a Steadicam arm. We've got one mounted to an easy rig if you want to take the weight off for heavier setups.
All right, so $15,000. What can people expect for that? Does that include the controller system?
It includes the controller. It includes enough batteries for you to run for one day, because I cannot stand running out of batteries for whatever thing I'm using. So yeah, that's what this exact rig as you see it here, minus the monitor, minus the follow focus, and the controller, and a host of batteries.
Very good. And when can people expect this to start being available on the market? We're
saying Q3 right now because we got kind of overwhelmed by the demand that we received. We really didn't expect that.
Great. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Glad to see this product out there. We're excited to try working with it in the future.
Thanks.
Subscribe to NextWaveDV, where filmmakers get educated.